Arjuna tells Lord Krishna that mind is restless and is much more difficult to control than the wind.
So first is the creator needs to take responsibility.
I was just reading the Bhagavad Gita the other day, and Arjuna tells Lord Krishna that mind is restless and is much more difficult to control than the wind. So, sister, tell us what would be the fundamental principles of training this mind?
Mind is not restless. Mind is a power. But if I use the power the right way, the power is in my control. If I don't use the power the right way, the power is not in my control. So do I control my mind or my mind controls me? That's what is going to be decided. So when I, the soul, start strengthening myself on a daily basis, then I start taking charge of my mind. Not just from 0 to 100% on day one, but that's also the journey. With today, not having control over my mind, saying, पता नहीं वो thought कहाँ से आ गई. We say like this, वो thought आ गई. That thought came to me. So that's how much we believe that we don't have control. We say the thought has come to me. The thought doesn't come to me. I create that thought. So they will say the thought has come to me as if it's coming from outside to inside because we believing that the situations and everything that's happening and the people in my life, how they are behaving, that is the cause of my thoughts. So we say, I felt like this because of them. That thought came to me. So every time I'm ingraining that it's coming from outside into me. So no power because I've even forgotten that I am creating it. I have a choice. So that is what is called Atmanirbhar. Atmanirbhar means self-reliant, remembering the situation is outside. Yes, it's an extremely difficult situation, but what I think about the situation, how I perceive the situation, how I feel about the other person does not depend on the person and the situation. It depends on me. This is power. And when I understand this power, then my mind is now according to me. It's according to me. Earlier, my mind was according to the situation. So if the situation is favorable, my mind is very happy. If the situation is not favorable, we would say, how can I be happy today? So it was like, how can I be? We thought it's not possible only. If a person is nice to me, I'm very happy. If a person doesn't behave the right way with me, we said, how can I be happy? Obviously, I will be hurt. So when we use this kind of vocabulary, which says, they said this, so obviously I'm hurt. So I'm saying my mind is not in my control. It's completely in the control of the behavior of the other person. So repeatedly having believed this, having said this again and again and again, and then having lived that way is making me lose my power over my mind. So again, we come back to why spirituality is so important. So spirituality will help you to take charge of your mind, your words, and behavior. Because today, not just mind is not in my control, my words are not in my control. How many of us would say something and then after they say, I didn't mean to say it. It was a slip of the tongue. I don't feel that way. It is just that I was upset, so I said it. Say it, then regret it, then feel guilty, then apologize and say, I was not saying it, it just happened. Again, I'm saying, I don't have control even over my words and my mouth. And some of us even lose control over our hands. So I can just throw a paper which is in my hand. I can throw some vessel that is in my hand, some utensil. I can throw a paperweight that is in my hand. Sometimes on the road, I can get angry and I can beat up another person just because there was a little accident. Or it goes to another extreme that if there is a road rage and someone is carrying a weapon, then two families' destiny is gone. This is all road rage. This is all road rage. Why? Because I lose control over my mind, my words, over my hand. But that losing control doesn't happen that moment when that accident happens. That losing control as part of life. And so when a bigger crisis comes, the person is not able to take charge of their mind. So first thing to believe that the mind is mine and to stop saying it is not in my control. It's like saying my child is not in my control. I didn't discipline the child. If I start today everything will be fine. So daily, first, believing it's my mind, it'll listen to everything that I say. Start giving it instructions. Daily begin your morning and end your day with powerful content. Restrict other content. That's very important. Even if I take spiritual content, but I consume hours of the opposite content in the day, even then it's going to be very difficult. So restrict the unhealthy content, consume it's just like the body, like you will say, restrict the wrong diet, take a little bit of the right diet every day, and your fitness levels will start rising. And of course, exercise. So exercise is meditation. So first foremost is restrict content. Too much content consumption and quality, we know what it is. Restrict, be very, very, very strict with it. Probably even more strict than what you would be with eating junk food once in a while. Eating a samosa or a chaat papdi or anything once in a while will not cause so much harm, how much this content is causing harm to us. So restrict content, consume healthy content. So content which has calm and stability, content which has acceptance, content which has forgiveness, content which has releasing, letting go, content which is teaching me how to be in the present moment. So start consuming that content daily. Now, what will happen once I consume that content and now I go out into the day? Situations will come, but my content will be the creator of my thoughts. So I am creating my thoughts based on the content that I'm consuming. Like my body is creating the energy based on what I have filled it with. So that is why you say, okay, early morning, have the right breakfast because you have a long day ahead of you. Your breakfast should have this, this, this. Why? Why can't I just eat anything? No, because you say you have to create that energy during the day for all the work that you do. Similarly, consume that right content as your morning breakfast. Do not leave the day for your work before you've consumed at least 10 to 15 minutes of the content which can be used in every situation and in every relationship. So that's why acceptance, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, self-respect, not comparison, cooperation, blessing people, not competition and jealousy. So consume that content, and within a few days, it won't take months or years. Within a few days, see the change in the way you think and see the change in the way even you behave with people. So that's the power we have.
So as we were talking about, comparison, I would say there are two C's which have really created havoc. The one C is unhealthy competition, and the other is comparison. But then, how does one avoid all this in this world?
There is no such thing as healthy competition. So
Unhealthy.
again when that's what I'm saying. But if you're saying unhealthy, that means there is something which is healthy, and there's no healthy competition.
Right?
There's no such thing as competition. This is again another belief system that has been put into us that life is a competition, which means we are trying to say life is a race. You have to go ahead of other people. Competition means comparing ourselves with another person and wanting to go ahead of another person. And then tomorrow wanting to go ahead of another person and then another person. And so, which means my entire life, I'm going to be in a race. I'm not going to live life. I'm going to be in a race. If I'm in a race, I know what my quality of life is going to be. So let's change the perspective and let's see whether life is a competition. So there are two people, they're in their own car, they're driving from destination A to B. They have set their goal of life. They want to reach B. So let's say you're in Delhi, I'm in Gurgaon. Let's just drive from Delhi to Gurgaon. Okay. You in your car, I'm in my car. I want to go to Gurgaon, you want to go to Gurgaon. Fine. Both of us can reach. Both of us can reach Gurgaon. Your driving speed will be different from mine. Your priority of how safely you drive, that's going to be different. And you're enjoying your drive with your family, listening to music, having something to eat. And I'm with my family, listening to the music I like, and driving at the speed which I am comfortable, and both of us will reach Gurgaon. That is certain. Someone can reach 5 minutes earlier, someone will reach 10 minutes late, everyone will reach. And whether I want to reach 5 minutes early or 10 minutes late also depends on what was my priority. If I feel like taking a break in between, and just stopping for 10 minutes, relaxing my body, taking a little rest, and then starting the drive, that's my choice. You might not want the need to take a break, and you say, no, I just want to reach 10 minutes earlier. Fine, that's your choice. So everyone has their choices, their priorities of self-care, taking care of their body, spending time with relationships, and the way they work, and their values and principles and ethics at work. Everyone will have their own. We are not here to discuss who is right, who's wrong. Important is everyone is different. Everyone will be comfortable their way. And so we both are driving. But somewhere on the road, we just opened the window, but we just looked at each other and we said, let's race. Now, after that, the rest of the journey changes completely. Now it's no more my drive, which I'm enjoying and I'm talking to my family. No, now my focus is only on you and how I have to go ahead of you. And now, if I have to go ahead of you, then I will have to follow all those things which you are following. Now, my life doesn't remain mine at all. Now, if I want to take a break, I will not take a break. If a person wants to sleep early today, they're not sleeping early because they say, no, I have to continue working more. But why? But because if I don't work more, this person will go ahead of me. Like doctors, 6 days of the week you work so hard. Sunday you say, I have to go to this conference, I have to go to this conference, I have to make this, which is very important. No denying that. But don't you owe it to yourself to take a little rest when you have such a tough, high pressure work for 6 days? Don't you owe it to your patients to be energized and rested on a Monday morning for the next 6 days? Don't you owe it to your family with whom you anyway spend less time because of the kind of role and seva that you are doing for the country? But when we say it's a race, then I forget all this. And I'm like, they are there at that conference. If I don't go, then I will be left out. So I have to be there and I have to be here. So even if I don't want to, if you want to, it's fine. But if you don't want to, you're just doing it so that you're not left out from the race. You may be ahead in the race. You can be number one, but then you are counting yourself number one only professionally. Life is not a profession. Profession is one part of life. But because I'm racing in my profession, my mental health, my physical health, my relationships, everything is getting affected because I'm not balancing all that. So if we tell people meditate, they will say, I don't have time. If we tell them sleep early, they say, I don't have time. If we tell them spend time with children, I don't have time. So where is the time going? Only work. So work became life, not one part of life. And the only reason work became life because I have to go ahead of other people. So it's the biggest belief system, which is the cause of almost all our uncomfortable emotions. So life is a journey, drive, learn from others. How are they driving? Is there something I can learn from them in my way of driving? Upgrade your skills, go way ahead, but go way ahead of your own capacity. And most important, be happy, healthy, and beautiful family while you're going ahead. Otherwise, you may be the first one, but take care that you're not alone. You're not alone. And most important, you're not lonely here. You can be alone here and you can become very lonely here if you are in a race and you did not prioritize anything else on the journey. And sometimes even your body is now not in harmony with you, leave alone people being in harmony with you. Body is not in harmony with you. And then gradually, sometimes the mind is not in harmony with me. Because on the journey, I said, I don't have time for this. 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 So when I need them, it's not going to work because I didn't do my right karma on the journey. So life is not a competition, and therefore, obviously, there is no comparison. We're all on our journey. We're all going to reach our goals happy, healthy, and with a very beautiful family. And most important, with our values, principles, and ethics, and not the normal principles and ethics created by society. My values, principles, and ethics are very important because they are my karma. They are the way I earn money, and the way I earn money decides the way the emotional health of my family will be. So, very important, my values, principles, and ethics is only possible if I'm on my own journey. And experience of millions says that when you take care of your life, quit the race, be on your journey, your way, you will reach faster and ahead of what you even thought was your capacity.